Great bounce back win after a tough loss on Wednesday, but that's life. That's we got to be able to get back to the drawing boards and reattack. And it took us a little while, but I am so proud of our effort. And a lot of times, effort is displayed through the stat sheet by rebounding. I think it's a season high 19-0 boards, and that's just willing to kind of put your hard hat on, and I'm going to go create something for my team. And that's something we've been preaching about in terms of team, playing for each other, playing for the person next to you, and continuing to move the basketball. Going from 6 assists last game to 22 tonight, that's a little bit more on par with Utah basketball. So extremely proud of the effort. We knew Houston was going to come in, and they've always played hard, and they always compete. And that's a credit to their coaching staff. Regardless of their record, they're going to show up and give you their best shot, and we're going to get that. So just proud of especially our second half, but we kind of got back to moving the ball and playing Utah basketball.
And you kind of touched on it with the rebounding, but it seemed like in that third quarter late when Gianna hit that three-pointer, it kind of took the cap off of the basket. I mean, what does it take to finally get scoring, to kind of get into a rhythm, and then to kind of see things go well? How does that work for your team?
I always think that every shot these guys take is going in. It's because we see it on a daily basis. So when it doesn't go in, it's like, oh no. But we also got to remove ourselves as they're on the floor. They cannot think like that. It's like the next shot's going in. You got to always believe the next shot is going in, and just trust the offense. Trust that through your hard work and your skill set and all those things that the next one's going in. So sometimes we get in our own way in that regard. But I just knew that it was a matter of time because we've been working on it the last couple of days. It's been about a week now that our spacing on offense just started to go in the other direction, and so we spent a lot of our time yesterday working on that, and we're going to continue to do that as we move forward because we can't neglect it, because good spacing is good offense and good offense is good spacing, and that's something we say all the time in our program.
Gianna, kind of similar question. Obviously, it was tough scoring against Kansas State. Kind of started out that way a little bit tonight for everybody but Mayé. What was it like to finally kind of get those shots to fall? How freeing is that for you as a shooter to be able to see them kind of fall down?
Yeah, like Gavin said, I believe in myself and my teammates that every shot's going in. So just staying consistent with that, and I think what happened against Kansas State, not to go back to it, is like you get tight when you start missing shots, and you can't do that because then you start rushing and our spacing turns bad. So just staying locked in on the next shot, saying maybe thinking of doing a different play, like getting a rebound or diving on the floor. So just focusing on the little things and not being so hyper-focused on, I just missed my shot.
Mayé, your coach talked about this already, about the offensive rebounds and how much of an impact they had in this game tonight, but especially early on when it was kind of more of a grinded out game, kind of going back and forth, how big were those rebounds to be able to help you guys stay in front?
I think that's a great tool for us to crash the boards because we have great guards that can shoot the ball. So like if we keep crashing hard and everybody, like all the bigs go and even guards, we're gonna have a lot more opportunities to shoot threes, and when we're making them, it's a great day for us.
This is for Mayé, and then a follow-up with Gavin and Gianna. Mayé, obviously, your offensive emergence has just been massive the past couple weeks. What has allowed you to kind of just find your rhythm, find your spot in the offense? And then for Gavin and Gianna, with Mayé's emergence and Kennedy's injury, how big is it to have her offensive production with Kennedy down?
I think just practicing together and getting adapted to the system more is just helping. I think my teammates are great. They learn how to play with me every day, and they put me in great position to succeed. I couldn't just do that by myself. So it's just team chemistry that we're building with time, and he's just going to keep growing.
I think with Mayé, she's one of those players, she's mature, she's very skilled. The word potential is still out there because she's still got a ways to go. But she's a student of the game. She's always in my office asking, like, what do you mean by this? Like, can we watch film? And so she's willing to grow. We're also holding her to a higher standard, and we're going to keep moving that standard so she can't reach it, just because I think that's how good she can become. And it's the same thing with, like, a Gianna. It's like, I'm not going to be satisfied if you're giving me your all and I'm just letting you attain, like you're reaching that, like no, I'm gonna move that goalpost every single time just because I know there's more in there. And so we stay on we stay on these two, and it's demanding, but at the same time, that's when you find yourself settling into a consistency component, and you're starting to see a little bit more consistency out of her, and that's going to be, scary come March.
Yeah, everything Gavin said, but also just when you have a dominant post presence inside like Mayé and Gianna, it just opens up the floor for everyone. It makes it easy. So yeah, just continuing to build, and like she was talking about chemistry, just building off each other, playing off each other, and I think it's getting more and more consistent every game.
For Gianna and Gavin, obviously with Kennedy unavailable, you get that chance to see some of your other guards. And Maddie and Brooke in particular, there in the second half, they kind of got some things going offensively. How nice was it just to be able to see those two kind of get some nice efforts, and have them be rewarded?
Yeah, I think we all have the most confidence in them. So just seeing them, I really think you saw Maddie attack the basket and showed some confidence in the end. And then Brooke was shooting shots when she was open. So that's something we need, because off the bench we don't want to dip. And I thought they played great today.
Gavin, to kind of talk about just going back to the Kansas State game, you said you felt like they were pressing a bit just on the offensive end. Tonight, obviously, it seemed like more of a focus just to continue to get to the rim, but also opening up the offense. I'm curious, what did you guys work on in practice this week to kind of continue to focus on just not pressing when the shots aren't falling, and how did you see that pay off tonight?
It's funny because I say the same thing, oh yeah, this week at practice, we had one day.
One practice.
It's this schedule it's going to take a while for us to get used to. But it's I wish we had the last 9 years of the schedule where we get multiple days leading up to a home stand. We don't get that. So in the one day that we got to prepare for these guys, we went back to basics. And that's on me, and I've got to make sure that we maintain the discipline to do the little things that we teach in the summer, but maintain that, and we will from here on out. But it's just we don't want to let it go unattended, because then it goes off script and spacing becomes bad, timing becomes bad. So again, I think it took us probably a couple quarters to really get back to the groove of things. So yeah, that's what we'll continue to do as we have literally one-day preps for pretty much the rest of the year.
Gavin, Gianna, I don't think we'll see you between now and then. Up next, you've got Baylor. That's a place you went to last year. Just kind of what do you guys remember about the atmosphere, and what challenges do they present?
I just remember 2 quick Alyssa Peely fouls. That's it.
Yeah, I think they have a new arena, so that'd be cool. But they have a great atmosphere. They had a great crowd, and they're a good physical team. So we'll be ready. But it's in the Big 12. It's always a good competition each night. So I'm excited.